You have now entered a new dimension through the expansion of the internet world. I am Johnny Allen, and this is the Johnny Allen Podcast Show. Okay, and this show does start now. This is the Johnny Allen 30-Minute Podcast. Yeah, I'm officially changing the name. Johnny Allen 30-Minute Podcast. Anyway, listen, it's Thursday. Thursday, April 19th of 2020. If the first time you've stopped by the show on YouTube or whatever, thanks. Or Facebook, thanks for stopping by. I just talk about everyday life situations. That's it. I share what's going on. And you didn't see me last week because I was in Ohio, in Amish land, Berlin, Ohio. Really cool. I finally got a getaway, and I'll share that stuff with you guys. I'll talk a little bit about my experience, with checking out Amish country, and just kind of vent a little bit, share a few things with you. Anyway, drinking the coffee. Hope you guys are doing well. Black Rifle Coffee Company. My son gave me this mug for my birthday, so thank you, Ed, for doing that. That was great. And I want to warn you guys, too. I just talked to my folks. And if you're older, like my mom and dad, which thank God they still got their wits about them, watch out for the scam callers, man. You got these people calling saying, hey, I'm your grandson, blah, blah, blah. And you know what? It was bullshit. He knows it's not his grandson. So you people that are doing this shit, stop it. Cut it out. Stupid. Just the beginning of my venting. Anyway, thanks for joining, and without further ado, let's get on with what I'm talking about today. Anyway, so, wow. I talk about the news. I check out the news once in a while. I don't like doing it. It's almost like when you see when there's a bad car accident and you can't help but looking. You really don't want to see it, but yet, you got to peek and see what's going on. That's how I am with the news, right? It's always bad. They got just bad stuff on there all the time. I think they make their money on advertising and talking about bad stuff. Bad stuff. That's what they do. And, I get tired of seeing the bad stuff. And, I'll turn it on for a minute or check it out on the internet. And I'm like, okay, I'm done already. So, with everything with the last year that's been going on, right? It's kind of like, how do we deal with this stuff? So, the wife and I got away for a long weekend. And we haven't done that since the pandemic hit. It's been over a year. Finally got a chance to get away and had a great time. And we just went to Amish country. That's what she wanted to do. She follows a DIYer, has a YouTube channel, really successful one, called White Cottage Company, Mary Yoder. And we actually went to her booth that she has some stuff in, and it was nice. We picked up a piece, and, she talked about some places to visit while you were there, and we did that. We did most of them, Mary. So if you're watching, thanks. They're all great. Everything was cool. So anyway, we did that. That was her trip from me for a belated Christmas present, and it was nice to get away. So what I'm trying to say is, with everything that's been going down and everything you hear, all this bad stuff going on, okay? And I want to talk about all the bad stuff because you guys see it every day, right? I see it. So you just need a break from it. So it was nice to get a break from that and put that stuff away. And, so we went to Berlin, Ohio, and Walnut Creek, Ohio, and that whole area right there, Amish country over there. And it was really nice. First time I've ever been to that part of Ohio. And I tell you what, just rolling hills, beautiful country, quiet, scenic. The Amish people are really polite. The Amish people are really nice. And, everybody's talking about this going green stuff. Those guys have been going green forever. They're as green as can be. They're still plowing their fields and stuff with horse-drawn, everything. They have very little, if any, farm equipment that's modernized. It's all done like we did 150, 200 years ago. And like I said, they're really polite people. I don't understand the Ohio drivers though out there in the country though. You got these poor Amish people and in their horse and buggies, and they're going like 30, 35 tops, and they're riding bikes and stuff, and these people are flying in cars up over these hills and going like 80 miles an hour, and I'm not exaggerating, 80 miles an hour, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, something's going to happen. It's going to be, hopefully not, but there's going to be like a huge accident. They about ran me over because I'm out of state, and, I'm looking around, I'm getting lost and stuff out there in the country, and GPS doesn't work out there and stuff half the time. So a couple of times I'm trying to find where I'm going, and I'm doing 60 on some of these roads, and they're coming up behind me and like getting aggravated and boom, fly past me because 60 wasn't fast enough on a 40 mile an hour limit, So, but we had a nice time out there in Amish country. It was really cool, really nice. So I talk about the news and all the bad stuff going on, and I thought about this today. Well, to kind of back up a little bit, last Friday was kind of a, how should I say this? It was kind of a mixed emotion day because it was nice being with the wife out there. We were having a nice time and stuff, but it was also the anniversary of my best friend's death. So God rest your soul, TD. And it was not a very good day. The day I got that call a year ago from his daughter, it was bad. This friend I'd known for over, 30 years. And he had, to say kind of bluntly, he kind of let the stresses of life, I guess, get to him, and it didn't end well, and it was horrible. So if you're having problems with, with your mental capacities and getting stressed out and you're dealing with some issues, please go get help. I mean, there's light at the end of the tunnel, so to speak. You can go get help and make you cope with what's going on, because it is a crazy world and it's tough to deal with what's going on. I know I've had my problems with what's going on. So I talk about what's going on. So what is going on in a nutshell, right? That's what I'm going to talk about for a little bit. Okay, we got political unrest big time in our own country. Okay, and that's just our country alone. And then you got us not getting along with other countries like Russia, China, Iran, just to name those three. So there's all this political unrest going on. And you got like Putin, he voted himself into, he said he made a law so he could be president until he's 83 years old. Now, to me, that doesn't make sense. Whatever they want to do in Russia, that's fine. But is it fair for one guy to be able to call the shots like that? Not really. I don't think so. And the thing I'm getting at with all this stuff is we have a lot of powers out there, right? A lot of these powers. A lot of these rough and tumble guys, characters, dictators, whatever, with a lot of money, with a lot of, I call, crew behind them that back them up, that are the enforcers, that do all this stuff. You guys get all that. And the common guy like me and you, they kind of keep it squashed like this, okay? And if you look at the big scheme of things, like if I was going to put myself in that place, say as a Putin or a Biden or, the leader of China, any of these guys that have a lot of power in all this, I put myself in their shoes for just a couple minutes. First of all, I don't think I'd want to be there because there's too much stress when in that position, for one. Because if anything goes terribly haywire, you're going to be your fault, right? But if I put myself in that situation, I'm going to think about, am I really doing what's right for mankind and the earth by being able to rule the superpowers of countries with all this superpower that can destroy the planet, like nukes? For one, it's scary to have that kind of power, to be able to do that. For two, do you want it? And for three, like I said, you got to really think about it. If you're in that position, do you really want that? There's something to be said about being a common man, like an Irishman, like Amish rather, or Irish, I guess. Amish people. There's something to be said about being just the average dude like myself. And wouldn't it be nice if everybody thought that way? Even these leaders, would think about the common man like you and me and the common woman. Instead of wanting to just dictate and rule and empower and basically control all these people and control all this stuff and want to control the whole world because they don't have enough already that they want to just take over everything else? And they don't trust each other? You know, I would call for everybody on the whole entire planet for 1 year. I don't think there's no way they're going to do it. It won't happen in my lifetime. But for 1 year, everybody would be no violence. Everybody could get along. There wouldn't be people like driving down the street and you accidentally, driving down the highway and you try to turn in front of them and they didn't like it, so they kill you. Or if you're in the McDonald's drive-thru and the food isn't fast enough, you shoot at the people working there or the person in front of you in line. You guys get it. Or if you're a pretty girl in Florida and two guys take advantage of you and end up killing you, you get it. All these things, you're these big leaders of the world and you're threatening to take over your country and your well-being and your way of living and your way of thinking. You get it. Should we be doing all this stuff as human beings? Should we? Should we? Really? Should we? Sometimes I think animals got it. They got it more right than we do as human beings in general. We have prejudices, bigotry, disrespects, violence, killing. You guys get it. All that bad stuff. And I don't mean to be talking about bad stuff, but really, if you look at the news and you look at what's going on in the world, it's incredible. It's incredible. I mean, it is. It is. Wouldn't it be nice if, like, you could say, I could get the leader from China, the leader of Russia, Putin, Biden, a few of these, the guy from Iran, the Ayatollah from Iran, okay? We all got these differences, but why can't we put the differences in the religious beliefs to the side for a minute? Just put them on hold for a minute? Why can't we do that? And everybody get together, cook out some ribs, whatever. I said this before in the past. Drink a beer, have a coffee, talk about normal stuff. Get along. The world would be such a better place if we just get along. And that's one thing I noticed about the Amish. I'm sure they have their issues, but for the most part, as I observed for 2 days, they get along pretty well, and they work together pretty well. And they're not all really poor, but they're not all really rich. I mean, some of them make pretty good money building their furniture and stuff, and they work hard. They kind of keep to themselves. They try to keep the peace. They try to keep the earth as green as possible. You look at all these things that everybody's kind of wanting, especially over here in the United States, this push for green and environments and good, clean environment and blah, blah, blah. And I'm all for that stuff too, whatever. But you're mad at people that drive cars, anyway. If you look at the Amish people, they're kind of already doing that. I observed that, when I was there. Isn't that kind of funny? And, not everybody's going to do that. Obviously, they're not going to do that. But I think the bottom line is why can't, it would be so nice, right? It'd be so nice if, even for 1 month, but 1 year would be incredible, be a miracle. If everybody could put their differences to a side and get along. Wouldn't it be great to say, okay, yeah, we don't need nuclear weapons. We don't need all this military destruction stuff, guys, because we're never going to have wars. Because we're so beyond that now. We get along. If we have differences, we work them out. We talk about them. We don't go blowing stuff up or threatening to blow stuff up or taking away your money or taking away your prosperity, because you want to be the big man on the campus, so to speak, on the world, in the world, you want to be the dude. To me, it just doesn't make any sense. It never has made sense for me. And if I look back on it, okay, I was born in the 60s. I'm kind of telling my age. And I don't remember the 60s very well because I was pretty young. And I know that a lot of stuff went on in the 60s. But I grew up in the 70s, and the 70s seemed like that was a pretty good time. Still had the Cold War and everything. But, I mean, just here in the United States, for instance, it was nice. I mean, it seemed like everybody got along. We didn't really have a lot of really bad stuff going on. We had bad stuff, but not like it is today. We didn't have the weirdness that's going on today. It was a different weirdness. You know what I mean? You guys know what I mean, especially if you lived in the 70s, you're a little bit older. 80s was kind of the same thing, kind of cool, A little quirky and stuff, but it was kind of cool. Everybody got along for the most part in the 80s. You liked Michael Jackson, you liked Van Halen, you liked all these different groups. You liked Prince, you liked, DMC, you liked, you get it. Everybody got along. the 90s things started kind of getting a little bit different. Then 2000 came and it just got weird. And now we're 21 years into 2000, which just blows my mind. And it's so daggone weird today, guys. All the strangeness going on. I'm being honest with you, man. I know I'm a little older, but this is the most strangest time I've ever seen. It's just bizarre. Everything. I mean, comment below if you agree with me on any of this stuff or give me your opinion or whatever. I mean, really. It's the most bizarre thing. So anyway, that's the first 15 minutes. It'd be nice if we all could get along, kind of be more like the Amish, like I observed, peaceful. Okay, so the last part of my 15 minutes, because it is a 30-minute podcast. I'm looking back on my life, and I'm looking at the mistakes I've made, and I'm looking at the things I've done that are, that are pretty cool and that worked out so far, and the things that I'm proud of. I've done things I'm not so proud of. I've done things I am proud of. One of the things I am proud of is that I've always been kind of a man. I've really been a man of integrity, and I can say that honestly. It's like everybody I meet, I give them a fair shake. I don't judge by what they look like at first. I try to give them a fair shake. Although today I can be kind of honest with you. The way some of these people are looking today, I'm just like, okay, how you doing? But wow, okay. Really that wow factor. But I do give everybody a fair shake on what's going on. I've never had problems with people outside my race. I've always got along with everybody, okay? And I still do. I mean, the only time I never got along with somebody is that they just didn't get along with me for some reason because of what I look like or who I am. But I've been really good to, and I got a lot of, people I get along with. So I've always, and I've always, like I said, given people a fair shake and, and recognize people's talents. I praise people a lot. I thank people a lot. I've always been that way. I don't talk down to people, I really don't. And as I get older, I've observed a lot of things with my so-called, and I guess they are, close friends. I may kind of ripple little feathers, but no harm intended. This is just observation I've noticed throughout the years. And what it is like a lot of my close friends and, some of my family, but mostly friends and stuff, and acquaintances that I've really, bonded with, or thought I bonded with, it seemed I always give these people a fair shake, but they haven't always gave me a fair shake. Now, I'm not asking to have anything, but do you ever feel like you're just kind of put on the shelf? It's like, oh, okay, yeah, John, yeah, that's John, yeah, he's there, yeah. We'll come back to him whenever, I'll come back to John whenever, Yeah, he's done this and done that and done this for me and praised me in this way and praised me that way, but yeah, that was cool. But, I want to do this now. Or I'm doing this or I'm doing that. And that's cool, whatever. But you kind of feel like you've forgotten and thrown up on the shelf. That's happened to me a lot. And it used to bother me a lot. But I'm going to tell you the truth anymore. It really doesn't. As I get older, it really doesn't bother me. I've gotten shot down with some good ideas I've had at work or with band members or music projects I've been involved in, I've been praised sometimes and put down in some ways, and I used to let the put down things get to me. Or it's like, or not seeing the stuff I've contributed to whatever situation it's in and to make it a better project or whatever it is. Like I said, just contributing my good graces and my talents, no matter what it is, that does not get recognized, And I'm like, And that's okay. Because as I get older and I get older and I get older, I realize who, and I can count them on these 5 fingers, the ones that have really been there for me, okay? And I'm more or less friends, but, my kids, they're there. They're busy, but they're there. And, my family's pretty tight, the family I have left, right? My brother's incredible. He's the best. My brother and my mother, for sure. To name a few, my family. My wife, my father, my aunt, uncle. The ones I got left, they're dwindling, but my family's always been pretty we've had our bumps in the road, but for the most part, yeah. But what I'm getting at is as I get older, as you get older, and I think this is true with anybody, but it's really getting true with me. As I get older, I'm really finding out who my true relationships are. The people that are really honest and sincere with accepting me who I am as a person, what I've contributed to whatever project I've worked on with these people, whether it be music work or whatever. They really show the appreciation, okay? So I figured out who the ones that really do that, right? Where I get the kudos. And I also figured out at the same time, these things used to bother me, the ones that don't so much show it, or have kind of forgotten and thrown me on the shelf, so to speak. And like, oh yeah, we'll get back to him later, those kind of people. I found out, though, on the flip side of the coin, rather, it makes you realize what really is most important in life. Right? And as I get older, I realize that. Like, I'm blessed to have a wonderful wife. You know, I've been married before, and I had good times with my ex, but, you know, there's reasons why they're exes, right? I'm blessed to finally have somebody that is super great. We have our moments, but anyway, if you're blessed to have a spouse that you can go share things with, like I did with her going to Ohio and doing these things with, you got to hold on to those. You know, I'm blessed to still have my folks. You got to hold on to those moments. I'm still blessed to have my brother. You got to hold on to those moments because, like my good friend, like I mentioned at the beginning of this podcast, is gone now. Been gone for a year. I never take anything for granted, and I cherish the ones that are really, I guess the term I'm trying to coin is like really in my back pocket, so to speak, that never really forget me, that will call. You know, nowadays we got this cell phone thing, right? A lot of people have these, right? And I'm not saying you got to call me every day, you got to do these things, but, you know, text once in a while, just say, you know, if you haven't talked to somebody for a while, and I do this, text them. How you been? If you've been doing something and you've talked to people about it and it's something you're kind of proud of and you're really a true friend and a true respectful person, you know, give them some kudos about it. Say, hey, you know, he does this. Or, you know, I've seen, you know, no matter who it is, whether it's, you know, you get what I'm saying. The people that are really super close to you, man, recognize you, really, to be honest with you. That's it, the bottom line. At the end of the day, the ones that really, you find out who the people are that are really super close to you in your life. And like I said, if you have disappointments like I've had in the past, you learn how to refocus your life, which I have, right? So you learn to do the simple things, like the things that were really important to me in the past, now maybe not so much because of the letdowns maybe. So now as I look at it, oh, okay, I like spending more time by myself. I like spending more time working on my old cars or putting in garden boxes, you know, vegetable beds, watching that grow, walking my dog, fishing with, you know, my grandson and my son, and fishing by myself. Going camping with my brother, you know, going on a small trip with my wife, going to visit my folks. Those things right there, I'm saying, guys, the simple things, you find out what's the most important things in your life, and that's basically what I'm finding out. You know, all this stuff, these big goals and dreams I had in the past, not saying that they were not worth chasing or doing or whatever. It's great, and I love doing a lot of this stuff and, you know, basically talking about music or whatever. But you find out what's really, really super duper important. You used to worry about all these things, like the world things I mentioned, and you learn how to block that stuff out. You find out what's really, really important in your life and who the ones that are really, really important that mean the most to you in your life. It's always been there with you through the bad and the good, always been there, always recognizing or at least somewhat recognizing the good things that you do, whether it be at work or wherever it is, at home, no matter what. I guess that's where I'm going at today, guys. The two things, I guess, today that was on my mind that I just shared with you, you know, The world today is a really scary place. I'll be honest with you. The world is scary. Look at what's going on. Look around. We have a song coming out with the Crossroads Saints called Look Around. And that's true. Look around. Basically look around you, what's going on. Okay? Should you let it consume you? Probably not. Consuming everything is not good for you either. Consuming all the weirdness and the bad stuff going on is not good. Recognizing who really wants to be with you. You know what I mean? The people that really got your back. You know? To say, hey, that John's a great guy, man. I think I'll give him a call. See what he's doing. How he's doing. You know? Those kind of people. You learn to cherish those kind of people. And, because, you know, nothing's guaranteed, right? And I do my share of reaching out, but I'll be honest, sometimes I get tired of reaching out and no one's reaching back, you know? And it's not just one or two people. It's a lot of people. I've had people come and go in my life. I guess that's part of life, right? I guess that's part of life. And you learn at the end, like I said, as you get older, you learn that some of those things that were in the past aren't that important, that you thought was real important. Simple life. I'm going to end on this note. Simple life like the Amish, I observed. I always talk about Sean James, My Self-Reliance, his YouTube channel. Simple life. Simple life. The more I look at it, really like the old Leonard Skinner classic song, Simple Man. That's really what it is. Just being a simple person, a humble person. You'll know. I'll continue to treat everybody nice and give them kudos when they deserve it, and maybe even sometimes when they don't, just to make them feel good. They don't have to do the same with me, but I'll continue to do that. And I think that being a simple man is where I'm at. I think there's something to be said about, like I said, just going for a walk with your dog, going for a walk by yourself, fishing in a quiet lake. You guys get the point. You guys know what I'm talking about. Those simple things in life. That's all I got today, guys. I am going to bring guests on, I promise, because it's just going to be fun. I'll bring on some guests that I feel like we share a lot of common things together, right? Anyway, like I said, every week, the Lord willing, I'll see you guys next week, or maybe the week after. I don't know. I try to do them every week, but, you know, things are evolving and changing. And if I'm in the middle of changing equipment up, may not get to the podcast. But I appreciate you guys stopping in and chatting and listening for 30 minutes. If you're new to the YouTube channel, please subscribe. And I got some people I want to call out to, and that's Box Kickers Doing Sports down there in Austin. I got links on my YouTube channel, about all that stuff. CW Coffee, formerly Diesel. Tim's got a great brand up there. Tim, if you're listening, hello. I'm going to get some more coffee soon. You guys have a great week. And remember, stay humble, stay nice. Be nice if the world leaders would get it together, like I said. But if they're not going to, which we probably won't, just enjoy a simple life. Remember the people that are really important in your life. Don't discount the ones that don't so much, ride your bus, so to speak. But really do pay attention to the ones that do, because that means something. That's very valuable, right? So anyway, you guys have a great one, and I'll see you next week.